Weezy. And right now we've got PJ Creelman. Woo!
Thank you. A lot of people run dating apps. That seems to be like the crocodile hunter of the joke scene now. Everybody used to make jokes about the crocodile hunter, now they talk about dating apps. One thing that I always think is funny is a lot of women will say, I need a partner in crime, but nobody wants to come with you when you're trying to bury the bodies. Okay, so, is it tall, fat, and sweaty in here, or is it just me? I know right now somebody's out there saying like, Paul, you're not that tall. It's PJ. Dang it, I keep getting that wrong. PJ, you're not that tall. So my doctor doesn't like me. Instead of testing my reflexes, he tests my gag reflex. And I found out like apparently there's a lot of health benefits to quitting smoking. And so I went to my doctor and I said, hey, I want these health benefits of quitting smoking. And he said, PJ, in order to quit smoking, you would have to start. And I realized, like, I'm not very good at doing new things, so that won't work for me. So back in the day, there used to be these ads, these billboards that showed a picture of a little girl sitting at the table, and there's this empty dinner plate in front of her, and it says, Molly is hungry. Will you help fill her plate? And I would see these billboards and I'd feel guilty, and I'd think like, oh, Molly, you need food. I'm so sorry, Molly. I don't really have any money to give to these charities. But there is a Sherwin-Williams store right there. So, I climb up there and I'm giving Molly peas and carrots and potatoes and some roast beef. That required 3 different cans of spray paint to get the good prime rib coloring right. And then, I'll be right down, officer, don't worry. And so anyway, that was Molly. She's probably like 30 now. Anyway, so I used to be a 911 dispatcher, and it was in a rural North Idaho. And so we would get calls like, yeah, there's a cow out on Highway 9. And I'd say, okay, well, we could send someone out to catch it. And he says, well, I think it's Earl's cow. I'd say, well, why do you think it's Earl's cow? He said, because Earl's out there trying to catch it. Okay, I won't be sending a deputy out there anymore. Okay. I used to live in Eastern Washington. I worked in Moscow, Idaho, like I said. And we would drive back and forth, my family, we would drive back and forth to Seattle, usually bi-weekly, sometimes monthly. And one time during the harvest season, we were driving along in this big van, and this onion came flying off of an uncovered truck. It hit the grill of the van. And just so you know, cutting onions that causes you to cry, that's a real thing. And if you're trying to drive a vehicle, that makes it very difficult. So I pulled over, and I suddenly realized there's all these onions and potatoes and corn. And so we started gathering onions and potatoes and corn. And it went really well with the venison that I picked up in Cleola. That was very tender meat. In fact, next time, I'm going to take Molly to Eastern Washington with me, and she can get all the food she needs. Okay. Let's see. I used to deliver pizzas, and this one time I got to a house, and this woman came to the door, and she was wearing a shawl, but it was buttoned up wrong, and she had like a lipstick goatee on, and she said, hi, and I said, hi, have your pizza, it'll be $10, and she goes in the back for a minute, she comes back with $1. I said, this is just $1, I need $10. And she said, but that's all I have. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I can't give you the pizza for $1. And she said, but I'm really hungry. And I said, I'm sorry that you're really hungry. And she said, you don't like me. And the whole time I'm wondering if this is a put on. She says, you don't like me. And I said, I don't even know you. I don't dislike you. It's just I can't give you the pizza for free. And she said, you don't like me because I'm different. And I was thinking, I'm going to be laughing my ass off in a second because you're different, but I don't hate you. My wife used to hate that joke, and # divorced for a reason. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a great evening.